Hello, welcome everyone. In this video, I'm going to work out on a chain rule of derivatives. So the chain rule we apply to a scenario or an expression where we have a main function and an input function, and the input function serves as the input of the main function. So here we have f is our main function and g of x is the input function, and this g of x serves the input of the main function. So we read it as f of g of x. So when we take the derivative in this expression, we take the derivative of the main function, which is f prime of g of x, because g of x is the input of the main function, times the derivative of the input function. So the derivative of this expression is going to be d over dx of f of g of x is going to be the derivative of the main function, which has the input as g of x. Our g of x is the input of this main function times the derivative of the input function, which is g prime of x. All right, now let's take a look at this example. If we break this expression into our main function and the input function, so if we look underneath the square root, we get 6x to the 4 minus 4. That is our input function. This is g of x. And our main function is basically g of x raised to the 1/2. Okay, so this is our main function. So, and the g of x serves as the input of this main function right here. So this is how we're gonna apply this chain rule and solve for this particular kind of expressions. Yeah. So let's solve this. So again, I'm gonna make this as a g of x, which is 6x to the 4 minus 4, and our f is going to be g of x raised to the 1/2 power. Okay, so this is all right. Now let's go ahead and write the derivative form. So it's going to be f prime of g of x times g prime of x. Okay, this is the derivative using the chain rule method. So now if we take the derivative of this part here, f of g of x, it's basically g of x raised to the 1/2 power. So we can apply the power rule. So it's going to be just 1/2. This 1/2 exponent becomes the coefficient times, in parentheses, g of x, and then we subtract 1 from 1/2. Okay, so this is this portion. And for the second portion, I'm just going to write just the derivative notation. So we have 6x to the 4 minus 4. I haven't taken the derivative of this yet. So now we have 1/2. And in parentheses, I'm going to substitute the value of g of x, which is 6x to the 4 minus 4. Okay. And 1/2 minus 1 is just negative 1/2. And the derivative of this right here is going to be basically we can apply the power rule here. 6x to the 4th is going to be just 6 times 4 times x to the 4 minus 1. And the derivative of a constant is just 0, 4. Okay, so we have 1/2 6x to the 4 minus 4 to the negative 1/2. And then we go ahead and simplify this part right here. 6 times 4 is 24, x to the 3rd. Okay, so this is our final answer. Let's do one more example. We have a cube root of 4x squared minus 3x cubed. So we are going to do the same thing. This portion is going to be our g of x, and our main function is basically f of g of x, which is the cube root of this g of x. So let's write this down. So g of x, or the input function, is 4x squared minus 3x cubed, and our main function is basically taking the cube root of our input function. So where our input function is going to serve the input of the main function. So it's basically g of x, our input function, raised to 1/3 power. Okay, now we can go ahead and apply this chain rule here. We have f prime of g of x times the derivative of the input. Okay, so we're taking the derivative of the main function, where g of x is the input of that function, times the derivative of the input function, which is just the g prime of x. Now let's go ahead and solve this. So this is our f of g of x, and when we take the derivative of that, is basically we can apply the power rule here. So it's going to be 1/3 in parentheses g of x, and we have 1/3 minus 1 times derivative of our g of x. Okay. Now we can go ahead and simplify this. This is 1/3, and I'm going to substitute the value of g of x, which is just 4x squared minus 3x cubed, and that's 1/3 minus 1 is going to be negative 2/3, and derivative of 4x squared minus 3x cubed. Okay, so we have 1/3 4x squared minus 3x cubed to the negative 2/3, and then take the derivative of these terms inside. The derivative of this first term is 4x squared, so it's going to be just 4 times x squared, and there's a 2 here, x squared minus 1. Okay, when we apply the power rule here, so this 2 becomes the coefficient multiplier times, and then we subtract 1 from our exponent. And similarly, we're going to have 3 times, the 3 becomes the exponent, and then we subtract 1 from our exponent. Okay, so our final answer is going to be then just 1/3 4x squared minus 3x cubed raised to the negative 2/3 times, we have 8x minus 9x squared. When we simplify this part right here, 4 times 2 is 8, and x to the 2 minus 1 is just x, minus 3 times 3 is 9, x to the 3 minus 1 is just 9x squared. So this is our final answer. All right, this would be end of this video.